Well, welcome to SUNY Fredonia's Year 2008 Commencement. Please remain standing while Victoria Vargas, who is graduating today with a Bachelor of Music degree in Music Performance, magna cum laude, leads us in the Star-Spangled Banner, and please remain standing while Dr. Theodore Steinberg of Temple Beth El offers this morning invocation.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets rang clear, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
As a faculty member at Fredonia, I tried to find some appropriate verses to capture the spirit of the day. Whether the graduates here assembled know it or not, they've been working to fulfill the words of the biblical book of Proverbs, to learn wisdom and discipline, to understand words of discernment, to acquire the discipline for success, righteousness, justice, and equity, to endow the simple with shrewdness, the young with knowledge and foresight. For wisdom will enter your mind, and knowledge will delight you.
Please be seated. Thank you, Victoria. And didn't she do a great job? And thank you, Dr. Steinberg. I also want to thank Dr. Paula Holcomb and the Wind Ensemble for enriching today's celebration. And we wish them safe travels as they leave tomorrow for an impressive concert tour of China, where they will be the featured group at an international festival of bands. Have a great trip. Platform guests, relatives and friends, faculty and staff, and members of the 2008 graduating class, today is indeed a special day. For most graduates and their families, today's commencement represents the culmination of many years of diligence and effort. It is truly a once-in-a-lifetime event, long to be remembered. Graduates, you can be proud of the degree you will be awarded today. Fredonia is a remarkable university and will remain an exceptional institution as long as the faculty, staff, parents, students, and you, the graduates, join in maintaining the strength and vitality of this great campus. As Fredonia alums, you will have opportunities to advocate for public higher education and for the education provided by SUNY campuses to the citizens of this state. Your advocacy and collective voice must be clear and constant. In that way, your Fredonia degree will remain impressive to future generations of students who will follow in your footsteps. Together, we can ensure that the State University of New York remains unwavering in its commitment to be providing a world-class higher education system that is accessible to all its citizens. Now, graduates, today we are here to honor you, but I ask that you take a moment to reflect upon the many individuals who have helped you along the way. Mothers, fathers, grandparents, brothers, sisters, spouses, aunts, uncles, cousins, friends, and teachers have helped make today's graduation possible. Please join me in expressing your appreciation to these special relatives and friends. And for those of you in the audience who are so proud of today's graduates, please join me in expressing appreciation for their accomplishments. This is an exceptional graduating class, not only for their academic achievements and performances on the stage and field, but their willingness to be of service to those who need their talents and time, and we are all very proud of them and their accomplishments. It is now my pleasure to introduce the members of today's platform party. I ask them to please stand and be recognized, and please hold your applause until the entire platform is introduced. Dr. Christine Givner, Founding Dean of the College of Education. Dr. John Kaczynski, Dean of the College of Arts and Humanities. Cody Myers, Student Representative to the College Council, President of the Student Association, and one of today's graduates. Dr. Kevin Kearns, Associate Vice President of Graduate Studies and Research. David Maternowski, Member, Fredonia College Council. Dr. Renata Barnava, Chair of the SUNY Fredonia University Senate and Professor of Computer Sciences. Angelo Bennis, Member, Fredonia College Council. Dr. Greg Gibbs, President, Fredonia Alumni Association. The Honorable Michael Sullivan, Member, Fredonia College Council. Heather Foley, Member, Fredonia College Council. Dr. David Ewing, Dean of the College of Natural and Social Sciences. Carla Westerland, Member, Fredonia College Council. Shirley Erbsmell, former College Council member, a member of the Fredonia Alumni Association Board of Directors, and proud grandmother of one of today's graduates, Emily Ketty. Dr. Walter Barnard, Professor of Geosciences and official mace bearer. Tracy Bennett, Vice President for Administration. Russell Dietrich, Jr., Member, Fredonia College Council. Dr. Theodore Steinberg, Distinguished Teaching Professor of English, representing Temple Bethel. Dr. David Herman, Vice President for Student Affairs. Dr. David Tiffany, Vice President for University Advancement. Christopher P. Raybrook, recipient of the Lanford Presidential Prize and one of today's graduates. Dr. Robert Heischberger, Member, Fredonia College Council and Professor Emeritus of Education. Ann James Manley, Member, College Council. Dr. Virginia Horvath, Vice President for Academic Affairs. Patrick T. Newell, Senior Class President and one of today's graduates. Joanne Niebel, Chair, Fredonia College Council. And Wendy Corsi Staub, SUNY Fredonia alumna, best-selling author, and our guest speaker today. Thank you all for being here with us. Now, our thanks for arranging today's ceremony are expressed to our hardworking support staff, our cheerful volunteers from throughout campus, and the Commencement Committee chaired by Mike Lemire. I'd like to recognize our faculty marshals and ask them to stand. Professor James East of the School of Music and Distinguished Service Professor Thomas Getz from the Department of Modern Languages and Literatures. Both are retiring after many years of service, and thank you for being our faculty marshals. Also, student marshals from the class of 2008 who are honored for their scholastic achievement and service to SUNY Fredonia, please stand and be recognized, and please hold your applause until the 6 names have been read. Catherine Ebert, Kayleen Goldsworthy, Kaylee Goldsworthy, Aurora K. Hall, Harrison Santiago, and Chancellor's Awards for Student Excellence recipient, Catherine Kornacki. Would they all please stand? Our sign language interpreter for today is Janelle Kruger. We also thank those who are coordinating today's live television broadcast in the Ice Arena and in the Dunkirk-Fredonia area, including special alumni assistants Robert Scott, Bradley Markham, Kevin Hartman, and John Malcolm. And let's give them a hand. SUNY Fredonia alumna Joanne Niebel of Sheridan, a member of the Fredonia College Council since 1997 and is chair since 1999, will give greetings on behalf of the Council. In addition to her undergraduate degree, she earned a Master of Social Work degree from the State University at Buffalo. Until her retirement in 2006, Mrs. Niebel was a developmental disability specialist with the New York State Office of Mental Retardation and Developmental Disabilities at the Western New York Developmental Disabilities Service Office. In this position, she was the administrator responsible for waiver services for the developmentally disabled in Allegheny, Cattaraugus, Chautauqua, Erie, Genesee, Niagara, and Orleans counties. Mrs. Niebel also is an adjunct faculty member in our social work program at SUNY Fredonia and is now affiliated with the family-owned real estate business Niebel Realty. Mrs. Niebel has been an effective and enthusiastic alumna and lobbyist on behalf of Fredonia and the entire State University of New York. Giving greetings on behalf of the Fredonia College Council is Chair Joanne Niebel.
Good morning. As Dr. Hefner mentioned a minute ago, today is not only a celebration of your efforts, the class of 2008, but of the loved ones that have supported and helped you. Today our speaker is Wendy Corsi Staub, who I have known since, well, for a very long time. And she comes from Dunkirk, where I came from, and she is our hometown celebrity. But Wendy's roots are those of a very strong and loving family. Her parents, Reg and Francella Corsi, were two of the finest people that I have ever known. Unfortunately, several years ago, 3 to be exact, Wendy lost her mom, and she carries the pink ribbon that honors her. But today, Fran is with her, just like those who could not be with you today are with you. Education is about learning, and sometimes we learn through our grief, and sometimes we are strong because of our sorrow. Today is a very special day for this family, and I want you all to remember those who could not be here with you today. I welcome you today. This is a wonderful day. I encourage you to enjoy every minute of it because tomorrow you might have to start looking for jobs and get to work. So on behalf of the Fredonia College Council and our Governor Patterson, we welcome you today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Nebel. This year's graduating class exhibited the best of Fredonia's spirit and truly lived the university's motto, where success is a tradition. Speaking on behalf of the 2008 graduating class is Senior Class President Patrick T. Newell, whose hometown is East Amherst, New York. Patrick will receive a Bachelor of Arts degree in Social Studies, Adolescence Education, and has been named a member of the Alma Mater Society. His additional honors include a Professionalism Award from the College of Education, membership in Phi Alpha Theta, the International Honor Society in History, and being named to the Dean's List for 4 semesters. He has served as a college ambassador, a member of the President's Student Cabinet, a campus tour guide, a speaker for open houses, orientations, and freshman convocation. He's been a member of the Student Affairs Committee of the University Senate, and on behalf of SUNY students, he even has testified before the New York State Commission on Higher Education. An award-winning resident assistant for 2 years, he was also vice president of the Resident Assistant Advisory Board for 3 semesters. Patrick served his fellow classmates as a representative of the Student Association during all 4 years at SUNY Fredonia and completed the Advanced Leadership Development class. This spring, he student taught in the Ripley Central Schools, and in the Other Duties as Assigned category, actually for one evening became the Ripley Eagle mascot for a pep rally. His immediate plans include graduate school at Buffalo State College and searching for a teaching position. Now, joining us on this occasion are his mother and stepfather, Kim and Robert Fries, his father and stepmother, Thomas and Mary Jo Newell, his brother, Ryan Newell, and his girlfriend, Lisa Meyer. And would they please stand and be recognized? It is a great pleasure to present Senior Class President Patrick T. Newell.
Well, it's been a busy 4 years. This senior class has been one of the most unified, successful, and generous in Fredonia's history. The Senior Challenge Committee, which was comprised of our class's greatest leaders, started this year with one simple idea. We wanted our class gift to be permanent and done by time we graduated. I am honored to say we have met our goal. With the thousands of dollars the Senior Challenge Committee raised, we were able to construct a new entrance sign at the Temple Street entrance to campus. This sign will remain on campus forever. So years later, when you return to campus for alumni weekend, you can proudly say, my class did that. A part of you will always remain here at Fredonia, and on behalf of the senior class and the Senior Challenge Committee, it is a distinct honor to present President Hefner with this plaque, which will be fastened to the new Temple Street entrance sign, and it reads, "A gift from the class of 2008. I'm sure many of my fellow classmates would agree that we would not be sitting here today without the encouragement of our parents, grandparents, and other family members. I would like to dedicate my speech to my family in honor of all the families present here today. We have finally made it. Graduation. We are moments away from crossing the stage and ending a journey that will ultimately start another. As a student of history, I have always been fascinated by the past. But on this occasion, one cannot help but think about the future. The future, I'm sure, has been a big issue on many of our minds. Questions like, what's next for me? Will I get a job? Where will I live? Despite all this uncertainty, I know one thing for sure. No matter where you go in life or what you may do, you will all be successful. I know this because over the last 4 years, I've observed many of you. I've seen this class face challenges, and despite our success or our failure, we have persevered. I am proud of what we have accomplished during our 4 years at Fredonia. Our class, unlike any other, has a strong bond, outstanding student leaders, and a passionate commitment to this great university. The future is in our hands. We live during very interesting times. During our careers as students, we have seen the world change drastically. But with each generation of college graduates face new challenges, the youth of this country has always been its greatest hope. Every year, parents and grandparents turn to their sons and daughters and see the hope for the future. It will be our generation, us, that will bring great change to our country. We are bright, energetic, driven individuals with the greatest tool to make a difference in the world around us. And that tool is our education. At Fredonia, we have been taught the knowledge and the skills needed to be successful in the outside world. The future is just beyond the doors of this field house. The opportunities are there for each of us to contribute to society. The difference between a good person and a great person is the ability of stepping up and tackling life's challenges. And I know every single person in this room has the ability to do just that. On this occasion, we look to the future, but we cannot forget our past. We must treasure who we are and where we came from. Many of us will move to different parts of the country or may even move to different parts of the world. However, remember that for 4 years we shared one home together, and that was Fredonia. As freshmen, we arrived bright-eyed and perhaps even naive about what the next 4 years would hold in store for us. Nevertheless, we are without a doubt better people because of the journey we shared together here at Fredonia. This university means something different to everyone in this room. For some of you, you found true, lifelong friends. For others, you found your purpose in life. Some found love, others passion for their area of study. We have seen many changes over the last 4 years on campus and around the world. Our freshman year, for the first time, many of you cast your first vote for a presidential candidate. Our sophomore year, the internet networking site Facebook grew to be the most popular way Fredonia students communicated with one another. We saw the campus grow with the opening of University Commons during our junior year, and finally our senior year. What a year it has been. From politics to the economy, the world has continued to change as our class has solidified itself as one of the most unified and generous in Fredonia history. In times of triumph and in times of tragedy, our class has always come together, unified by our love for this school and our determination to make it an even better place. Each of your Fredonia experiences are different, But as you leave this campus this weekend, remember that as much of a difference you made on this school, you made an equal impact on it. For 4 short and exciting years, these classrooms, residence halls, and sprawling lawns were made better because of your presence, your ideas, and your dedication to your education. Fredonia will be here long after we have left, educating future classes and generations to be as successful as we have become. Therefore, in conclusion, I want to remind you, the future is ours. It is in our hands. We should all feel good about graduating here today, knowing that we are prepared by our outstanding professors. We have great families, and now we have a great education to help us tackle whatever the future holds. We can do anything we put our minds to. The future is there for each of us, and it starts today. Now, if anybody or anything ever gets in your way, you just remember one thing: you are a Blue Devil. Congratulations, class of 2008.
Thank you, Patrick, for your fine remarks. I also want to thank the class of 2008 for its generosity and for everyone that is in the audience. Before you leave campus today, be sure and look at that great gift that the class of 2008 has put on the corner of Temple and Old Main. It is a wonderful, wonderful gift that they have given us. And now, the Fredonia Women's Choir, under the direction of Gwen Coleman Detweiler. Thank you, Professor Detweiler and the Fredonia Women's Choir for that wonderful music work. Yeah. The Lanford Presidential Prize from the Oscar and Esther Lanford Endowment was established through the Fredonia College Foundation by Dr. and Mrs. Oscar Lanford. The late Dr. Lanford served as Fredonia's 9th president from 1961 to 1971 and was essentially the builder, both physically and intellectually, of the modern Fredonia campus. This annual prize is presented to a graduating senior who shows balanced achievement both on and off campus and who exemplifies Fredonia's ideals while maintaining a strong grade point average. We are also delighted that Esther Lanford is with us today, and may I please ask her to stand and be recognized? May I now ask Christopher P. Raybrook to approach the lectern. We honor Chris today as the recipient of the Lanford Presidential Prize for his academic excellence and commitment to the campus community. Chris, whose hometown is Palmyra, New York, is receiving a Bachelor of Arts degree in English Adolescence Education with a minor in Leadership Studies. His immediate plans include graduate school at the State University at Buffalo in pursuit of a master's degree in Higher Education Administration with a concentration in Student Affairs. Chris has been named to the Alma Mater Society and is a recipient of the 2008 Crescents M. Graham Award for Excellence in Student Teaching from the Department of English, the David E. Manley Scholarship, the Undergraduate Alumni Council Award, and the Mark Cohen Award. In the summer of 2007, he traveled to Ghana in West Africa to study its culture. Chris has been a resident assistant, a college ambassador and admissions tour guide, a summer orientation leader, a member of the Judicial Board, a house manager at the Michael C. Rockefeller Arts Center, a member of the Foundations of Excellence in the First College Year Transition Dimension Team, and a member and past president of STEPS, helping to organize the first AIDS walk ever held on the SUNY Fredonia campus. This is just a sample of his wide-ranging contributions to campus life. We honor Chris today for embodying the true spirit of SUNY Fredonia and for his exceptional service to the university. Chris's parents, Paul and Connie Raybrook, and other family members and friends join us on this special day, including Sister Gina and her fiancé, Neil Landry, aunts and uncle, Joan Vonglis, and Connie and James Bailey, and friend Aaron Vicanti. And may I ask all of them to please stand and be recognized? It is my distinct pleasure to award the 2008 Lanford Presidential Prize to Christopher P. Raybrook. Congratulations on this prestigious award. Our keynote speaker this morning is best-selling author and SUNY Fredonia alumna Wendy Corsi Staub. Wendy, a Dunkirk native who earned her degree in English from SUNY Fredonia, is an award-winning author of over 70 books. She writes suspense novels and young adult novels under her own name and women's fiction chick lit under the pseudonym Wendy Markham. Her work regularly appears on the bestseller list of USA Today, Barnes & Noble's Top 10, and BookScan. Her adult thriller, Don't Scream, spent 5 weeks on the New York Times and USA Today bestseller lists. Wendy's new young adult paranormal series of books, Lilydale, pays homage to our own area. On April 29, she saw a career milestone with the release of 3 books, 2 brand new suspense novels, Dying Breath and Lilydale, Believing, as well as the trade paperback edition of her fall hardcover book. In July, 2 new Wendy Markham novels will be released, Slightly Suburban and That's Amore, and in November, Lilydale Connecting will be released. She is currently in the midst of a 50-state book tour, and in June will travel to Tuscany as part of the La Jolla Writers Conference. Wendy's work has been translated into more than a dozen languages and has twice been awarded the Washington Irving Prize for Fiction. In addition, she has won 2 Rita Awards from the Romance Writers of America, was a 2007 recipient of the RWA New York City Golden Apple Award for Lifetime Achievement, and in April was honored at the RT Book Lovers National Convention with his Career Achievement in Suspense Award. Wendy has co-authored a mystery series with former New York City Mayor Ed Koch and has ghostwritten for a number of best-selling authors and celebrities. As a result of years of hard work and determination, Wendy has lived her dream as a writer, going from a small-town girl to an internationally known author. We are very proud to call her one of our own. Wendy is joined today by her husband Mark, sons Morgan and Brody, her father Reginald Corsi, sister and brother-in-law Lisa and James Kolner, aunt and uncle Lori and Marion Corsi, and friends and fellow SUNY Fredonia alumna Kim Byam Powell and Suzanne Muldowney Schmidt. May I ask all of them to please stand and be recognized. And now, this morning's commencement speaker, Wendy Corsi Staub.
So good to be home at Fredonia. I'm so proud to be a part of this day and so proud of all of you, the class of 2008. I want you to go ahead and give yourselves a hand because you did it. It really was just 4 years ago that you sat in the back seat of your parents' car, surrounded by luggage and cardboard boxes and plastic milk crates filled with all your stuff, half exhilarated, half scared to death, on the brink of a whole new chapter in your lives, college. You had already visited the campus. You had imagined what it would be like to actually become a student here, and then you made it happen. You dreamed of this moment too, and then you made it happen. You knew right from the start exactly what it would take to get to this moment, didn't you? It was all neatly spelled out for you at orientation. A designated number of credits, requisite courses in your major, your minor, your concentration, an array of electives, a mountain of paperwork, minimum grade point average, thousands of dollars. You followed the rules and the requirements, you did it all, and you got here and you made it. What now? There's no orientation for what happens next. From here on in, there are no set requirements, no catalogs, no grades. You've probably known every springtime of your lives for as long as you can remember where you would be the following September. In school, preschool, elementary school, middle school, high school, college. Not anymore. Come September, no, come tomorrow, you're on your own. Your next move is completely up to you. It's been over 2 decades now since I was in your shoes. Back in May of 1986, I was also wearing a cap and gown right here in Steele Hall. I was sitting right over there, surrounded by my friends, and my parents were someplace up in the bleachers, proudly watching as I accepted my diploma. It was what they had always dreamed of for me, a college degree. It was not, however, what I had always dreamed of for myself. I had known from the time I was in 3rd grade that I wanted to become an author. I had known from the first time I visited New York City at 13 years old that that was where I should go to become an author. Here today, as they were on my graduation day 22 years ago, are my family and friends. And if you ask them, they will tell you that I was always a dreamer and that I dreamed big, and probably too big, most of them thought at one time of another for my own good. They will also tell you that I've never been a very patient person, that all I wanted when I graduated high school was to get moving. I desperately wanted to skip the next step, college, and go straight to New York. Unfortunately for me, or so I thought at the time, my parents insisted on college. What did I possibly have to learn from more school? I wanted to become a writer, and no one can teach you how to write. Writing was a talent, an art, a destiny. The sooner I got out into the real world and set it on fire with my great American novel, the better. Wouldn't you know, my parents didn't see it that way. Thank God. Here I came to Fredonia State, where I majored in English with a concentration in creative writing. For 4 years, I took every possible undergraduate and graduate course offered in literature, fiction, and poetry. No, I didn't learn how to write novels. I was right about that. College doesn't teach you how to write novels. College teaches you about life, and it's life that teaches you how to write novels. It was here at Fredonia that I discovered some of my favorite poets and writers, Edgar Allan Poe and Sylvia Plath, Oscar Wilde, Thomas Hardy. It was here that I discovered how to research and stick to a deadline, how to accept constructive criticism in a workshop setting. It was here that I learned, too, how to live for weeks at a time on coffee and 10-cent chicken wings. I learned how to drink quarter drafts at BJ's until closing and ace a midterm the next morning. I learned that as long as you had the syllabus, you could skip geology class to watch All My Children and still pass the test, and I learned that sometimes you couldn't. I learned the hard way not to trust the wrong people, and I eventually learned how to trust the right ones. I learned how to earn money, and I learned how to waste it, what to say and what not to say. In other words, I made plenty of mistakes, and I'm sure you did too. Guess what? Those days aren't over. They're just beginning. You're going to make plenty more mistakes after you leave Fredonia today. We all do. Some of mine were, in the grand scheme of things, pretty small, like moving from Fredonia to a basement apartment way out in College Point, Queens, where I lived like a troll, pretty much right under the Whitestone Bridge. Technically, it was New York City, barely, but from there, it took 2 hours and a bus to a subway to another subway just to get to my entry-level publishing job in Midtown. That mistake was pretty easily rectified. I gave notice to the landlord after the first month, found a better place. Some of my postgraduate mistakes had more lasting repercussions. Department store credit cards. I got them all, Macy's, Bloomingdale's, Lord & Taylor, you name it. I used them all. Within a year of graduation, they were all maxed out. It took me years to pay them off with interest. Those spiffy neon orange baggy parachute pants that were such a steal on the clearance rack at B. Altman, in the end, they wound up costing me almost a week's pay. Neon orange baggy parachute pants. I could write a whole speech about my fashion mistakes of the 80s, and they'll tell you, but I won't. I'll just mention what I had on beneath my cap and gown the last time I wore one. Pastel pink skirt, thick white lace hose, white Mary Janes, floral tapestry bolero jacket that was all the rage in 1986, or so I believed. Big hair, also all the rage. Do you know how many cans of Aquanet it took me to get my hair sufficiently big on graduation day, or how stressful it was to climb the stairs to accept my diploma while balancing a mortarboard on top of my hair? But I digress. I was talking about other kinds of mistakes, the kinds you can't blot out by burning old snapshots. Mistakes like holding on to the wrong relationships, letting go of others too easily. Mistakes like bad apartments and fad diets and debt and late fees and gossip, smoking, getting into cars with people who shouldn't have been driving, taking the subway home alone at 4 a.m. and realizing only years later what could have happened. But when I look back, I realized that some of my seemingly colossal mistakes weren't really mistakes at all. Like quitting my 9-to-5 entry-level publishing job after only 6 months, giving up a steady salary, paid leave, and benefits so that I could try to make it as a writer. My parents were worried, and rightly so. How would I pay the rent? What if I got sick? How could I handle the inevitable rejection? How would I possibly make it in a notoriously difficult profession with the odds stacked against me? I wasn't worried, not at all. There I was, dirt poor, completely on my own in a huge city. But I was living my life entirely on my terms for the first time, going by sheer gut instinct. I wasn't worried, I was exhilarated, and I was free. And I not only figured out how to survive because I had to, but I figured out how to thrive because I had to, because I had never stopped dreaming, and dreaming big. I made those dreams come true. Yes, in the process, I did a lot of things wrong, but I also did a lot of things right. I worked my butt off until at last I sold my first book, and I went on to sell 70 more. I met and fell in love with the right person. I had 2 beautiful children. I moved to the suburbs to a cozy old house that has become home. I spend my days writing novels now, just like I always wanted to. How do you write a novel, you might ask? You begin by considering different characters, different settings, different premises. Is this tale going to be about a teacher, a musician, a scientist? Will the action unfold in a small town or a huge city or abroad? Will there be adventure, and will there be romance? Of course, from the very beginning, you'll have a general idea of where you're going and how you're going to get there. But take it from me, no matter how well you've thought things out, you're going to wind up getting sidetracked at times. You're just going to have to learn to go with that, because this is a work in progress. This is all about the moments, about capturing a series of moments. You need to be open to taking a different path when unforeseen twists present themselves. There are going to be times when you have to go back to the beginning and start all over again. Yes, you'll be frustrated after spending days, weeks, even longer on entire chapters that ultimately just don't work, but they're never wasted. You'll almost always learn something from them, even if all you learn is that certain characters just refuse to do what you need them to do for the sake of your happy ending, and they should be written out entirely. You'll have to learn to let go of some beloved characters, too. Characters who deserve to stick around for the happy ending. When their chapters close, sometimes unexpectedly, abruptly, tragically, you'll have to find a way to begin a new chapter without them. After all, this is your story. You'll probably always second-guess the choices you make along the way, but you can't get anywhere without making them. Eventually, no matter what, your hero or your heroine will really come alive. All the pieces will start to fit together, the action will flow. I promise, because that's how it works. That's how it is. That's what I've learned. How do you write a novel? Pretty much the same way you're going to live your lives from this moment on. It's all about the moments. You're going to leave here today with your diplomas in hand and fond memories and promises to keep in touch. You will. You'll make road trips, and you'll stand for each other's weddings. You'll become godparents to each other's children. And you won't. You'll break up, or you'll move a continent away, or you'll want to keep in touch. Really you will, and you'll try, but eventually you'll simply forget and move on. So, this is your moment. Right here, right now, today. Savor it, capture it. This is your story, and it can never be rewritten. For Mother's Day last weekend, my son gave me a little plaque with a quote on it. The quote from the Nobel Prize-winning author Anatole France was fitting not just for my own life, but for all of yours. To accomplish great things, we must not only act, but also dream. Not only plan, but also believe. That's my advice to you. Believe, dream, dream big. And perhaps most importantly of all, don't buy the neon orange baggy parachute pants, or if you must, for God's sake, pay cash. This is your moment. Here you are. You made it. Congratulations. I'll admit I'm a little choked up. I have been all morning on your behalf when I saw all of you in your caps and gowns. I've always been a sucker for a happy ending and for a promising beginning. And this moment, for all of you, is both. Now, go ahead and start writing the next chapter. Thank you.
Wasn't that a wonderful commencement speech? As we begin the presentation of candidates, we ask that families and graduates remain seated in Steele Hall until all graduates are recognized as a courtesy to everyone attending today's ceremonies. Commemorative scrolls given to graduates today are a gift of the Fredonia Alumni Association. Graduates participating in today's ceremonies will receive DVDs of both ceremonies as a gift from the Commencement Committee, the Fredonia Alumni Association, and the Fredonia College Foundation. Our faculty readers are Assistant Professor Ann Carden and Professor Joseph Chilberg, both from the Department of Communications, and I may ask them to stand and be recognized. Will Vice President for Academic Affairs, Virginia Horvath, please join me in the approval of the confirmation of degrees for candidates of bachelor's and master's degrees by the enrobed faculty and staff, and the presentation of candidates for graduation.
May I ask the enrobed faculty and staff to stand, please. Now please turn and face the graduates. Faculty and staff, please confirm formally these candidates for the bachelor's and master's degrees. Please indicate your approval now with an enthusiastic aye. Aye. President Hefner, the candidates have been confirmed. Thank you, faculty and staff. Please be seated. Soon we will announce formally the members of the class of 2008. As we announce the names of the individual candidates, please hold your applause until the end so that all the names may be heard. Candidates for the master's degree, will you please stand? President Hefner, these graduates have completed master's degree requirements in their programs of study. They have been recommended by the faculty and approved by the Board of Trustees of the State University of New York. In the name of the faculty and by its authority, I have the honor of presenting them to you so that you may confer upon them the appropriate master's degree: Master of Arts, Master of Music, Master of Science, or Master of Science in Education.
By the authority vested in me by the Board of Regents of the University of the State of New York and the Board of Trustees of the State University of New York, I now confer upon you the appropriate master's degree and admit you to all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining to the degree. Welcome to the company of scholars, and congratulations.
Candidates for the master's degree will now be directed to the platform to be hooded and to receive their degrees. Degree recipients will be hooded by Associate Vice President for Graduate Studies and Research, Kevin Kearns, and Deans David Ewing, Christine Givner, and John Kaczynski. Graduates, please be seated. The ushers will escort you forward by row.
Christina Dudek. Laura Marie Agan. Peter Griesinger. Donald Robert Dorr. Mary Christina O'Lennon. Nicole Janine Nurchi. Eric G. Awe. Matthew J. Snyder. Nicholas Adam Thayer. Stephanie Tarrick. Chieko Matsuyama. Joseph Raymond DiDonicio. Marissa Slaventa. Christina Marie Supo. Maureen Lynn Pullman. Linda Cellini.
Candidates for the bachelor's degree, will you please stand? President Hefner, these candidates have completed the curricula prescribed for their degrees by the State University of New York at Fredonia. They have been recommended by the faculty and approved by the Board of Trustees of the State University of New York. In the name of the faculty and by its authority, I have the honor of presenting them to you so that you may confer upon them the appropriate degree: Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Fine Arts, Bachelor of Music, Bachelor of Science, or Bachelor of Science in Education.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Regents of the University of the State of New York and the Board of Trustees of the State University of New York, I now confer upon you the appropriate bachelor's degree and admit you to all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining to the degree. You may now turn your tassels.
Graduates, please be seated. Ushers will now escort you to the stage by row to receive your degrees from members of the Fredonia College Council.
Patrick Thomas Newell, cum laude.
Cody Michael Myers.
Christopher Paul Raybrook.
Harrison Santiago, magna cum laude.
Catherine Ann Kornacki, summa cum laude.
Aurora Katie Elizabeth Hall, summa cum laude.
Kaylee Ann Goldsworthy, magna cum laude.
Catherine A. Ebert, magna cum laude.
Kalina M. Goldsworthy, magna cum laude.
Sarah Elizabeth Clifton.
Allison Mary Risser.
Karen Alyson Lessig.
Matthew Gregory Barone.
Molly Brianna McKinney, magna cum laude.
Gregory Leonard Kraszewski, cum laude.
Samantha Rachel Meckler, summa cum laude.
James Ludwig Krieger.
Casey Patrick Acker, magna cum laude.
Andrew Joseph Caldarelli.
Maria Dorothiana Costello.
Scott Andrew Byer.
Benjamin Allen Karki.
Joel Vincent Hunt, summa cum laude.
Jacob Andrew Yoamenakua.
Casey Joseph Oakton.
Clifton Robert Depew, cum laude.
Matthew Salvatore Simo.
Kyle John Irving.
Brandon Armella.
Blake Matthew Dawson.
Ryan Hurst.
Megan Lynn McLaughlin.
Michelle Lee Mayone, cum laude.
Chelsea Christine Atkins, magna cum laude.
Lindsay Trossel, magna cum laude.
Jamie Rose Rudzinski, cum laude.
Kasana Dragovich, cum laude.
Derek Thomas Carlson.
Dylan Policelli.
Ryan James Cameron.
Anna Elizabeth Bastian.
Eric Stambaugh.
Brianna Lee Ryan.
Richard Schaefer.
Jessica Lynn Kohler.
Amy Lynn O'Neill.
Jessica Goldbach.
Lindsay Ann Calamia.
Rebecca Grace Warner.
Amy Lynn Feluca.
Michelle Lynn Heights.
Chad Michael Sayers.
Megan Elizabeth Preston, magna cum laude.
Bernard Woma.
Lena K. Dombrowski.
Mitchell Joseph Greco.
Kristen Marie Doyle.
Scott Lee Farkas.
Angel Ray Mowat, summa cum laude.
Sarah Genevieve Culhane.
Michael James Menicheski, summa cum laude.
Gregory Detweiler.
Gary Richard Vasallo.
Jesse Andrew Ratterman.
Benjamin Lawler Farley.
Matthew Francis Loftus.
Samuel McKinnon Daly, cum laude.
Kyle Gozer.
Andrew Samuel Abrams.
Jeremy James Ware.
Shane Costa, cum laude.
Edward Forsell.
Colby James Gabler, magna cum laude.
Antoine Terrence Brothers.
Catherine Ann Ayat.
Anthony Donnell Prod Jr.
Jonathan Michael Mickley.
David Patrick McCormick, summa cum laude.
Jonathan Michael Hickey.
Kelly Michelle Sweeney, summa cum laude.
Andrew Thomas Pickard.
Melissa Beth Urban, summa cum laude.
Sarah Lynn De Silva.
Joshua Michael Dwyer.
James L. Serendis.
Jeanette Elizabeth Westman, magna cum laude.
Nicole Marie LaDuca, cum laude.
Kristen Mary Tompkins, cum laude.
Amanda Rose McVeigh, magna cum laude.
Christina Elaine Petit.
Laura Elizabeth Aarons.
Laura N. Massaro.
Kimberly Kristen Gurn.
Samantha Jane Smith, summa cum laude.
Megan Eileen O'Neill.
Vanessa Lee Milliman, summa cum laude.
Sushma Shetty, magna cum laude.
Ian David Will.
Marie Nicole Villardo.
Daniel Richard Campo.
Janelle Christine Smith.
Kevin Patrick Gellerson.
Sarah Nicole Wygant.
Abdul F. Lawal.
Rebecca Lynn Lowe.
Eddie Murph Humphrey.
Lisa Ann Brown.
Stephanie Lynn Abdo, magna cum laude.
Zachary Michael Waite.
Amber Lynn Bartow, cum laude.
Lisa Marie Will.
Stephanie Magliocco.
Jennifer Lynn Acevedo.
Kara Celeste Welch, magna cum laude.
Catherine Glenwright.
Nicholas Giuliano.
Ryan David Rote, cum laude.
Elizabeth Ann Curvin, cum laude.
Sarah Christine Banazuski.
Shannon Lynn Washburn.
Robert Harding.
Elizabeth Catherine Golak.
Anne Elizabeth Letilucy.
Erin Elizabeth Ackerman, cum laude.
Elena Ponce, cum laude.
Emily Sue Jeter, magna cum laude.
Jesse House.
Caitlin Sarah Gang, summa cum laude.
Christy Lynn Azarella, cum laude.
Mallory Lynn Mels Zabel, magna cum laude.
Lauren Michelle Bird.
Amanda M. Cannon, cum laude.
Thaddeus J. Williams.
Katie Marie Ward, magna cum laude.
Martha Delaplane, summa cum laude.
Wendy L. Cook.
Daniel John Kopp.
Kelly Lynn Haviland, cum laude.
Thomas W. Capola, summa cum laude.
Rebecca Caver Grady, summa cum laude.
Kayleen Marie Dunning, cum laude.
Amanda Christine Davidson.
Caitlin Marie Poleski.
Colleen Elizabeth Tobin.
Catherine Moore.
David Joseph Myers.
Anthony Michael Caber.
Dan Mark Figura.
Craig Joseph Damon.
Eileen Michelle Lamar, cum laude.
George Fuller.
Kimberly Rose Coates.
John Daniel Koza.
Veronica Catherine Rizzo.
Matthew Kenneth Ray.
Jetta Regina Fosberg, summa cum laude.
Ellen M. Carl.
Susan Elizabeth Baylor, cum laude.
Brandon Adam Green.
Dana Caradona.
Alyssa Brooke Carey Denzel.
Miranda Lee Giangrosso, cum laude.
Christine Lee Kais.
Maria Christine Chiravelli.
Elizabeth Hudson, magna cum laude.
Ashley Renee Bergman, cum laude, summa cum laude.
Heather Gravel.
Rebecca Prescrino.
Jesse Edwin Sherwood, magna cum laude.
Rebecca Michelle Wolf, summa cum laude.
Ian Carnahan.
Megan Marie McDonald, cum laude.
Emily Grace Cole.
Maureen Abbott Nixon.
Jessica Lee Weinberger, magna cum laude.
Michael Adam Wayman.
Lindsay Kathleen Coulis, cum laude.
Jessica Marie Calney.
Nicole Christine Van Netten.
Lisa Michelle Byrne, cum laude.
Johanna Chantal Dixon.
Brian Thomas Quinlan, cum laude.
Kyle Robert Gordon.
Jillian K. Wellsby.
Andrew Paul Sharman, summa cum laude.
Natalie Hope Bevrasic, cum laude.
Ryan T. Dennis.
Nicholas Brian Call.
Philippe Bonsi.
Karen Lynn Ewing, summa cum laude.
Daniel Allen Powell.
Katie Marie Vaughn.
Brandon John Miller.
Amanda Mary Stobing.
Seth Lawrence Kotler.
Renee Elizabeth Beedling.
Kata Marie Wilder.
Stephanie Lynn Kasmarek.
Spencer Douglas Morgan.
Nicole Marie Chinchota.
Melissa Jane Flynn, magna cum laude.
Rachel Lynn Barbaritz.
Catherine Porter.
Christina Renee Latona, summa cum laude.
Joseph Annunziato.
Casey C. Carlson.
Christopher Robert Antonucci, magna cum laude.
Tara M. Manley.
Sal Galino.
Eric James Wilson.
Brittany Schnauber, cum laude.
Lisa Michelle Harder.
Craig Philip Brenley, magna cum laude.
Stacy A. Krenz, magna cum laude.
Jared Scott Tesler, cum laude.
Christine Marie Juba.
Michael Joseph Lutomsky.
Danitra.
Cynthia Van Ens.
Camila Bobby with you, cum laude.
Kristen Michelle Liao, magna cum laude.
Erin Caitlin Washington, cum laude.
Robert John Scott.
Zachary Addison Acaro.
Joseph T. Cicero, cum laude.
Mary Catherine Lonergan.
Anna Jane Keeler, cum laude.
Adam John Vallone.
Kimberly Catherine Langquacti, magna cum laude.
Edward Herbert Clavoon.
Honje Lee, summa cum laude.
Stephanie Lucille Bellinger.
Grace Tomzak.
John Riley Bruckman.
Grant Anthony Saunders.
David Carl Albin.
Timothy Joseph Miller.
Cheryl Ann Tasker, magna cum laude.
Anthony Joseph Ambrose.
Garrett James Raymond.
James Samuel Winepress.
Jonathan Matthew Lynch.
Brian Everett Darrow.
Noel Arzola.
Keith Ho Nobles.
Christine Catherine Borton.
Catherine Marie Riedesel, summa cum laude.
Colleen Nicole Gallagher, magna cum laude.
Carrie Marcella Halstead.
Matthew Richard Monroe.
Leslie Diane Von Pless, magna cum laude.
Christopher Matthew Fox, cum laude.
Stephanie Ann Sherwood, cum laude.
John Eric Kane, summa cum laude.
Laura Marie Francione.
Aurora Lynn Santa Teresa, cum laude.
Dana Michelle Denstead, cum laude.
Lauren Lynn Rohan, summa cum laude.
Amanda Jolene Palmieri.
Ashley Elizabeth Muscarella.
Thomas William Westall.
Michael L. Zabrodsky, magna cum laude.
Margaret Mary Wheelahan.
Richard Antonio Phelps, magna cum laude.
Ryan Michael Keating.
Aaron Michael Ogden, summa cum laude.
Sebastian Henshaw.
Jessica Rose Sherman.
Adam Brady Corbsmeyer, magna cum laude.
Jeremy Allen Cobo, magna cum laude.
Timothy Burden Riley, magna cum laude.
Ryan Cobb.
Jennifer Lynn Seaweed.
Adria Terrell, cum laude.
Mark Thomas Duggan, magna cum laude.
Kaylee Ann Ellis, cum laude.
Kenneth Wilbur Christensen, summa cum laude.
Paige Michelle Van Nordstrand.
Nathan Gridley Shamel.
Michael Garabedian.
Ryan Sean Cullinane.
Gina Gasperi, cum laude.
Benjamin Saul Goldenberg.
Craig Robert Sowers, summa cum laude.
Untine Keller Petrick.
Lisa McMullen.
Brian Kevin Toohey.
Angel Park, cum laude.
Ashley Mae Vogel.
Corey Lynn Barkey, summa cum laude.
Peter John Sinsky.
Michael Vincent Pulio, magna cum laude.
Amanda Marie Becerro, cum laude.
Justine Marita Herbold, magna cum laude.
Stephen Anthony Inken.
Suzanne Elizabeth Cusick, magna cum laude.
Laura Ann Walters.
Andrew James Bennett, summa cum laude.
Kevin Peak.
John Peter Hausman, magna cum laude.
Lindsay Michelle Anderson.
Nicholas Thomas Del Bello, summa cum laude.
Emily Rose Caddy, cum laude.
Julie Burke Gage, magna cum laude.
Angela Michelle Oliverio, magna cum laude.
Alicia Marie Lutet, cum laude.
Laura Frances Mayturn, cum laude.
Sherry Lisa Whopper, magna cum laude.
Jordan Matthew Smith.
Desiree Joy Schaefer, cum laude.
Bradley Arthur White.
Christopher Valley, magna cum laude.
Trevor Douglas Wilson, magna cum laude.
Kristen Ann Johnson, magna cum laude.
Edwin Rodriguez, Jr.
Cassandra Lee Olin, magna cum laude.
Stephen David Gwynn.
Lori Beth Hughes, cum laude.
Jordan Neressa Laws, magna cum laude.
Patrick L. Lachlan, summa cum laude.
Aubrey Catherine Condon, magna cum laude.
Catherine Marie Dankert.
Elissa Ann Lyons, magna cum laude.
Kaylee Ann Kozlowski.
Amanda Rose Martin, cum laude.
Stacy Lawrence.
Adam William Loftus.
Amalia Alicia Nagel, summa cum laude.
Luke Ferdinand Jean, summa cum laude.
Kiyoko Yamasaki, cum laude.
Bradley Meader.
Brianne Lynn Popek.
Michael Edward Schwanz.
Laura Kolb.
Brittany Dawn Harkins.
Sarah Jennifer Sumsky, cum laude.
Heather Lynn Hostetler.
Sipna Ina Peshnachek, summa cum laude.
Michael David Tobio.
Lindsay Rose Williams.
Joshua Seth Kopstein.
Melissa Christine Alio, summa cum laude.
Brian Jeffrey Van Gelder.
Glenn Martin Johnson.
Alex Michael Apolito.
Carly Elizabeth Francisco.
Melissa Lee Roberts, cum laude.
Amy Elizabeth Jackman.
Caitlin Elizabeth O'Keefe, cum laude.
Margaret Mary Schrum.
Kelly Catherine Johingen.
Krista Danielle Graff.
Amanda Ray Regan, cum laude.
Andrew Thomas Kuhn.
Julia Lorraine Kraft.
Joseph Patrick Vaughn.
Amanda Lee Anderson, cum laude.
Joshua Ridley.
Mary M. Murphy, cum laude.
Megan Maltson.
Daniel Pitnell.
Jamie Kirsten Vadu.
Shannon Patrick Rosati.
Amanda Lee Lohr.
Christopher Herr.
Thomas Joseph Barr.
Brian Paul Hornbuckle, magna cum laude.
Kevin Braun.
Jamie Neese.
Terrence William Hickey.
Russell Stephen Waddy.
Kevin Paul Hoover.
Kevin Radigan.
John Philip Oliva.
Jonas Lucas.
Angelina Fisher.
Katie Teresa Blackman, magna cum laude.
Kimberly K. Abbott.
Conchetta Elizabeth Leonardis.
Anthony Maurice Woods, cum laude.
Enamdi Nelson.
Brianna Joy Palmer.
Jeffrey Lynn Zook, cum laude.
Jessica Marie Slamoni.
Elizabeth Churchill Geis.
Megan Marie Termer.
Lindsay Nicole Eaton.
Kaylee Shea Moran.
Megan Audrey Lee.
Brian Hubert.
Brian J. DeFries, cum laude.
Brendan Tyler Cassidy Comfort.
Jeffrey John Symes, cum laude.
Desiree Jade Allen.
Michael Corey Florio.
Craig Robert Felton.
Lindsay Elizabeth Nalick.
Tara Nicole Bierstow, magna cum laude.
Anthony Scott Farina.
Laura Kathleen Weinman, magna cum laude.
Rachel Elizabeth Marsh.
Thomas Christopher Rosebrough.
Joel Michael Kacklemeyer.
Andrew Charles White.
Ian Maloney.
Erica Wolf, magna cum laude.
Jonathan Andrew Evans.
Rachel Catherine Huff, cum laude.
Alexandra Catherine Prestia, magna cum laude.
Kaylee Elizabeth Lopresti, summa cum laude.
Nissa Lord Morin.
Teresa Marie Covell.
Peter Joseph Egan, cum laude.
Delana Fico, summa cum laude.
Mark Robert Bankson, magna cum laude.
Sean Lewis, magna cum laude.
Matthew Thomas Wiggers, cum laude.
April Josephine Murphy, cum laude.
Timothy Michael Favalero.
Lisa Peering, cum laude.
Ian Christopher Anderson, summa cum laude.
Andrew Montgomery.
Jonathan Christian Wanta, cum laude.
Eric Rhoda.
Christopher James Oakes.
Kelly Ann Lettier.
Scott Gary Marsazewski.
Steve Boseski.
Joshua David Stitch.
Scott Michael Sear, cum laude.
David Kenneth Lyons.
Robert Chase Galbraith.
Michael Joseph Weeks.
Charles Alfred Lefevre.
Travis John Lawrence, cum laude.
Ashley K. Rakoski.
Ryan James Kohler.
Lindsay Marie Brown, cum laude.
Lucas Stephen Sweet, magna cum laude.
Amanda Lee Schnurl, summa cum laude.
Jude Wixel II.
Stacy Lynn Piero, cum laude.
John William Kramer.
Christina S. Blakely, cum laude.
Eric David Crusher.
Amanda Jill Donlan, magna cum laude.
Joseph Shadrick Grossvent.
Sarah Ann Tykowski.
Daniel John Tedesco, magna cum laude.
Angela Aaron Bird, cum laude.
Andrew James McCardle.
Stephanie Stroff.
Mark Joseph Dangler, cum laude.
Sarah Ann Urban.
Owen Lee Mayer, summa cum laude.
Catherine Mary Fahey.
Rebecca Elise Ehrlichman, cum laude.
Adam John Kane, magna cum laude.
Benjamin Rush.
Sanford Nicholas Holsapple, cum laude.
Ryan James Gomez, cum laude.
Matthew Richard Hughes.
Lauren Mancioni, cum laude.
Roger Lee Mulligan.
Daniel James Spitaleri, cum laude.
Emily Marie Craig.
Kristen Marie Squire.
Sarah Woodhouse.
Liam Patrick O'Boyle, cum laude.
Sarah A. Straw.
Amy Melissa Adderman.
Jean Marie Liskowitz, magna cum laude.
Brian Goodnow, magna cum laude.
Deborah Ann Williams.
Nevada Thomas Green.
Aaron Michael Massarello.
Sean Michael Greif.
Caitlin Ann Herslinger, cum laude.
Trish Halpin.
Juliana Lauren Brady, magna cum laude.
Catherine Lynn Palillo.
Kathleen Crystal Sirica, summa cum laude.
Joseph Patrick Hanaut II.
Stephanie Sarah Fatz, summa cum laude.
Heather Lynn Rohr.
Amanda Nicole Schmella, magna cum laude.
Amanda Marie Ross, cum laude.
James Edward Link.
Jason J. Shear.
Jessica Lynn Mikins, cum laude.
Caitlin Marie Scheller.
Danielle Marie Schultz, cum laude.
Emily Ann Bennett, magna cum laude.
Christopher Robert Tealking. Richard Aaron Montgomery II. Lisa Ann Dingelis, summa cum laude. Janice Darlene Contreras. Jessica Lynn Werner, cum laude. Lindsay Russo Bride, cum laude. Eric Zachary Rubenstein, cum laude. Victoria Alexandria Vargas, magna cum laude. Aurora Colleen DePaul, cum laude. Lydia Faith Heron, summa cum laude. Idris Miftardi. Jennifer Erin Lawler, cum laude. George H. Alexander. Eric Christopher Perry. Molly Elizabeth Perry. Janithi Meredith Bunyan. Ryan Michael Kaminsky. Bonnie Carla Deeds. Elizabeth Colleen Stancliffe, magna cum laude. Corey Dean Pomeroy, cum laude. And you?
Once again, let me offer my warmest congratulations to each of you receiving a degree today, and my special thanks to Wendy Corsi Staub, our musical groups, and all our special guests for enriching this celebration. Thanks to all of you for being with us today for the 2008 commencement of the State University of New York at Fredonia. I encourage you to join me, the platform party, and the faculty and staff in the Williams Center immediately following the ceremony for a reception honoring our graduates. The graduates will be exiting Steele Hall at the lower level doors facing the Williams Center. Will you please rise and join the Fredonia Women's Choir in singing our alma mater, and remain standing for the benediction by Dr. Steinberg.
Well, my students know how much I love this because I get the last word. Do not forget my teaching. Happy are they who find wisdom and who attain understanding. Its value is better than silver, its yield greater than gold. Its ways are ways of pleasantness, and all its paths are peaceful. May you all go in peace and use the wisdom you've gotten here to make the world a better and more peaceful place.
Thank you.